The moment you pull up to a drive-through speaker, you're entering this high-stakes, super efficient machine.
It really is. I mean, for these quick service restaurants or QSRs, the margins are so tight.
And our patience, let's be honest, is even tighter. That drive-through isn't just a lane, it's
Mhm.
it's the battleground. Every single second saved is revenue.
And that pressure, that tension is what's driving this huge technological revolution. Our sources are showing that AI is moving from these, small, cautious pilots
Right.
to full-scale integrated platforms across the entire industry. And this isn't just a theory, it's about hard numbers. We're talking measurable seconds saved, much higher accuracy, and a lot less food waste.
So our mission for this deep dive is to really synthesize this whole emerging landscape for you. We want to go beyond the headlines and get to the operational reality.
Exactly.
We're going to look at who's building what, understand the 5 core ways this is all driving efficiency, and maybe most importantly, look at the practical steps. How do you actually pull this off?
We're really focused on where AI delivers that operating leverage today. So think drive-through voice bots, predictive inventory, and the often overlooked bit labor optimization.
Okay, let's jump right in then. Segment 1, the AI arms race. Who's making the biggest moves, and what do their strategies really tell us about where this is all going?
What's so fascinating is that the big chains are taking, well, fundamentally different paths. It really reflects this choice between relying on massive external cloud partners for scale or
Building it all themselves.
exactly, it's that classic build versus buy decision just playing out on a multi-billion-dollar scale.
So let's start with the buy side, the cloud partnership model. I mean, Wendy's is the big example here with Fresh AI, right?
Prime example, they built it specifically with Google Cloud, and they are not being shy about scaling. They're expanding to hundreds of restaurants as we speak.
And they reported that, what, a 22-second saving in their trials? That's the number that just changes the whole conversation.
It absolutely is. 22 seconds saved on a transaction, that translates directly to higher throughput, more cars per hour, especially during those peak lunch and dinner rushes.
That's the clearest ROI you could possibly ask for in this business.
It is.
But then you contrast that with the in-house approach, like what we're seeing from Yum Brands. So that's Taco Bell, KFC, Pizza Hut.
Right. Yum is going all in. They're standardizing everything on their own proprietary platform. They call it Bite by Yum.
Bite by Yum. And they're working with NVIDIA, I saw, for AI voice and computer vision.
Yes, starting in 2025. By owning the platform, they get this incredibly tight integration. The kitchen, inventory, the customer, it's all connected. For them, it's less about just raw speed and more about protecting their operational IP.
That makes sense. But doesn't owning the whole stack, doesn't that expose them to more risk, like technological debt, maybe slower updates compared to just using a huge, constantly evolving Google product?
That's the trade-off. It's a calculated risk. They accept that risk for the deep control, the ability to customize an AI model for, say, a super complex Taco Bell order versus a simple KFC order.
Whereas Wendy's can just deploy quickly and gets all of Google's general AI advancements without hiring an army of engineers.
Precisely.
So then, what about McDonald's? They had that very public voice test with IBM that they wound down in 2024. Where are they now after that experiment?
Their play right now is all about foundational modernization. After they pulled back on that voice test, they took a step back.
A staged retreat, maybe?
You could call it that.
Yeah.
They realized the tech, especially the acoustic modeling, just wasn't ready for their insane scale and complexity. So now, they're deepening this huge partnership with Google Cloud to set the stage. They're unifying data, getting the infrastructure right, so that when the voice tech is perfect,
They can flip a switch and roll it out everywhere.
almost instantly, yes.
It's important to say, though, this isn't just a game for the giants. You don't need a billion-dollar R&D budget for this.
Oh, absolutely not. The technology is very accessible through what we'd call point solutions. You see White Castle expanding SoundHound's AI to over 100 lanes.
And Jersey Mike's is using it just for answering the phones, right?
Exactly. It proves you can adopt these very specialized tools for your specific pain points without that huge investment that, say, Yum is making.
Okay, so we've seen the massive investment, the build versus buy. Let's get practical. How does this tech actually shave off time and cut costs? This brings us to segment 2, the 5 core ways AI drives QSR efficiency.
Well, we have to start with the most obvious one, voice ordering. At the drive-thru, on the phone, the AI handles the routine stuff, but the real secret weapon is the upsell.
The AI is a better salesperson.
Consistently. A busy human might forget. The AI never forgets, and it's often more effective.
Hold on, but If the AI is trained to always push the extra fries or the bigger drink, don't customers just get annoyed? Where's the line between helpful and just aggressive automation?
That's a great question, and it's a critical governance point we'll get to. But it's more sophisticated than that. It uses basket patterns, historical data, what they call propensity to buy.
So it's making the smart upsell, not just any upsell.
Exactly. And the result is your crew is no longer trying to hear a muffled order in a noisy lane. They are immediately reallocated. They're focused on production, on quality, or at the window, providing actual hospitality.
Which makes the process faster and, ironically, more human at the most important point. Okay, number 2, predictive inventory and waste reduction. This feels like where the real money is saved behind the scenes.
This is pure mathematics driving profit. The AI forecasts demand using these really complex inputs, not just sales history, but hyperlocal data.
Like what? The weather?
The weather, a big concert down the street, school holidays, even time of day down to like a 15-minute window.
So it stops the manager from just guessing how many chicken nuggets they need if it suddenly starts pouring rain, which kills foot traffic.
It's exactly right. This dynamic forecasting leads to smarter prep. It cuts down on over-preparation. The industry calls that shrink or waste, and it prevents those really costly stockouts that lose you a sale.
Okay, the third lever is labor and scheduling optimization. This has to be key for managing those thin margins and keeping employees happy.
For sure. The AI can predict staffing needs not just by the hour, but by station, grill, fryer, assembly line. It automates schedule suggestions. It's a bit like what Starbucks popularized with their deep brew system.
So if there's a sudden lull, the manager gets an alert to shift someone from the grill to, say, restocking.
You got it. Fewer people standing around during slow times and fewer people getting slammed when an unexpected rush hits.
Now for number 4, which sounds a little more futuristic, kitchen and quality control using computer vision.
This is a vital insurance policy for quality, especially when things get crazy busy. Yum. Cited this as a big part of their roadmap. You literally mount computer vision systems over the production line.
The make line.
Right. And they check for process adherence. Are the ingredients right? Are hold times being followed?
So if an employee forgets the pickles or a batch of fries sits under the heat lamp for too long, the system actually flags it before it goes in the bag.
Precisely. It protects that customer experience by catching anomalies immediately. And that directly reduces remakes, which are a huge drain on time, money, and customer satisfaction.
And finally, number 5, menu and pricing intelligence.
This is the revenue engine. The AI analyzes what items are bought together, the basket patterns. It uses that not just for the smart upsell we talked about, but to dynamically recommend bundles, limited time offers. It powers those digital menu boards you see everywhere now.
Guiding your purchase decision without you even realizing it. That is a really comprehensive toolkit. But implementation is never that easy. We know McDonald's, the king of efficiency, had to pull back an early test.
Which brings us perfectly into segment 3, the practical path, the challenges, and the crucial piece, governance.
So if you're an operator listening to this, you have to learn from those early mistakes.
You do. And the number 1 challenge, the very reason McDonald's hit the brakes, is pitfall number 1. Noise and accents, mishears. A drive-thru is just an acoustically chaotic place.
We've all been there, right? Yelling no cheese 3 times while a truck rumbles by.
And if the AI gets that wrong, it completely defeats the purpose. The crew has to stop, remake the order, and deal with an angry customer. All that time you saved is gone.
So what's the solution?
It's complex but practical. You need things like dual mic arrays, acoustic models trained on local accents. But the single most important lesson is having a seamless fallback to a human.
Be a human in the loop.
It is not optional. If the AI mishears twice or hits a certain complexity, a human agent has to be able to silently and instantly take over. That's what McDonald's 2024 wind down really highlighted, the difficulty of getting that acoustic part perfect everywhere.
And the second big pitfall has to be about the crew, right? Change management.
This is so critical. Leadership has to frame the AI as a co-pilot, an augmentation tool, not a job threat.
Easier said than done.
It is. You have to invest in training the crew on what they call bot co-pilot etiquette. When to jump in, how to correct a mistake, and you have to celebrate the wins, the second saved, the reduction in errors. If you just focus on jobs being eliminated, you lose buy-in completely.
It sounds like the tech adoption is, what, 30% software and 70% people and process. So for someone listening who wants to do this, how do they actually structure a deployment? Our sources laid out a kind of 90-day playbook.
Yeah, let's break it down into 4 phases. Phase 1 is Identify. You have to define your main KPI up front. Are you trying to save seconds? Cut waste. Improve accuracy. Then you document your constraints. Is your menu super complex? Are you next to a loud highway?
You need that baseline to measure against.
Yeah.
Okay, then what's phase two?
Phase 2 is foundations. This is the unglamorous but essential data plumbing. You have to unify your old point-of-sale data, your inventory data, your staff data, make sure all your systems can talk to each other.
Because without clean data, the AI is just guessing.
It has nothing to train on. And this is also where you establish your governance.
Governance. So that's a security and trust layer. What are the big red lines there?
The biggest one is no debit or credit card capture via the voice bot. The bot takes the order, but a human or a secure terminal takes the payment. It's about reducing liability and making sure customers trust the system. You also define those human escalation rules we talked about.
That separation makes a lot of sense. So foundations are set, now you test it.
That's phase 3. Pilot. Start small. 1 to 3 high-volume locations where the ROI is highest. And you benchmark everything. Speed, accuracy, and especially that agent takeover rate.
How does that work with something like inventory?
You run it in parallel. The human manager makes their forecast, and the AI makes its forecast. You compare them for a few weeks. You look at the waste, the stockouts. This builds trust in the system before you take the safety net away.
Smart. And then, assuming the pilot goes well, you hit the big red button for phase 4, rollout.
And that's all about infrastructure readiness. Wi-Fi tests, acoustic checks, hardware integration. But crucially, it's about integrating it into the GM's daily life. The KPI dashboards, weekly reviews of what went wrong. It has to be a continuous feedback loop, not a one-and-done install.
This whole journey just brings us right back to the ROI. It's not one thing, it's a platform that creates leverage across the whole operation.
It's totally multifaceted. It's that labor reallocation we keep mentioning. It's fewer remakes because of higher accuracy, and it's that significant waste reduction from smarter prep. It all adds up.
And when you see a company like Yum, brands saying they have AI running in over 25,000 restaurants already with plans to expand, I mean, that's the proof right there. This thing scales.
It does. And for you, the person listening, this platform shift means something very simple. The service at your favorite chain is going to get faster, and your order is going to be more accurate. They're fighting tooth and nail for those seconds.
And AI is their ultimate weapon.
Which leads to a really interesting thought. That operational stability, it changes the entire game.
So, if AI is mastering ordering and inventory and labor, if it's maximizing efficiency to the absolute limit,
then the main competitive advantage for a restaurant isn't about the efficiency of the service anymore, because AI is making that the standard everywhere.
the competition shifts back to the food.
The quality and the novelty of the food itself.
You now have all the tools to monitor this next era of fast food. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.